The SNES is one of my favorite Nintendo consoles of all time. In fact, I could have easily done a top 10 or more on my favorite games, even leaving out RPGs. But the truth is, I will have a lot of trouble deciding the order. Fortunately, my top 5 is solid and I'm firm in my decision, so here it is. Number 5. Street Fighter 2. This one needs zero introduction as it's one of the most influential video games of all time. Back then, however, I didn't know that. I just remember playing the original version over and over again without even knowing it was the first true good fighting game ever. Many years later I found out there were other versions of this that were better, but my childhood belongs to the vanilla version, the fighting game, Street Fighter 2. Actually, the first time I played this game was in the arcade. I remember having some huge beginner's luck against my brother. I picked Blanka and beat the crap out of him. Fun memories. Eventually on the Super Nintendo, Chun-Li became my preferred character simply because I sucked less with her. But anyway, timeless masterpiece here. Number 4.
International Superstar Soccer Deluxe.
Yeah, you're shocked seeing a sports game, but this is in fact the only sports game I like. A friend of mine in middle school invited us over to play this over and over again. After a while though, he got the PlayStation and wanted to get rid of his Super Nintendo. So eventually he sold this game to me and my sister and we absolutely loved it. We used to do competitions, tournaments or simple matches with several teams. I always picked Holland because the name of the players sounded weird but cool at the same time. I love how it plays with an isometric view. I always felt it helps you get a better perspective than the other views. So while not a part of my childhood, it was definitely a big part of my teenhood and my entire family has fond memories of it. I'm still pretty damn good at this game if I may brag a little. Number 3. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Another fighting game here, one that I fell in love with when I first played it. It's yet another game that wasn't part of my childhood but rather teenhood. Truth is, when we got the Super Nintendo, it came with a few games including Street Fighter 2. The other fighting game though was Mortal Kombat 2. Definitely a great game that I played to death back then. But this Ultimate version won me over for its quick-paced controls and its huge amount of characters. It was also easier to practice and get the fatalities or the friendship moves. Never got a single brutality move in my life though. Those were hard. I learned my way around a lot of characters here, but I ended up mastering Noob Saibot and Sector. I always wondered if there was an original Mortal Kombat 3 as this one felt like an updated version of something. When I found out, I played the original and yeah, it was alright, but it's hard to go back to it after playing this ultimate masterpiece. Number 2. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 Turtles in Time. This one is another timeless classic that everybody knows and loves. I also played this game to death in all difficulties, with all cheats and secrets possible. Raphael was my man, but I could easily get around with any turtle here. Loved the friggin' music, rocking my socks off, every stage was masterfully designed and the heat detection worked wonders. And man, the multiplayer here was badass. If you watched my NES video on my favorite games there, a Turtles game was also my second place. I loved it, but this one just felt like a completely superior game in all sense of the word. I didn't play the original arcade version until many years later, so I'll probably always prefer the Super Nintendo port, my favorite beat 'em up of all time. Number 1. Super Mario World. Yeah, it's probably not a very interesting pick for a first place, but I can't lie to you. It is honestly my favorite game on the system alongside Super Mario RPG. This is yet another game where I've done absolutely everything there is to be done, and have done multiple full playthroughs during my whole life. When my siblings and I got the Super Nintendo, this was also one of the first games we got. Super Mario World was obviously the first one we played, but it wasn't my first time playing it. I remember almost every friend I had back then had this game, of course, but the first time I ever beat it on my own and unlocked all extra stages and Yoshis and all possible routes, it was when we got our own SNES. I don't need to keep talking about this game. To me, it's the best video game ever created. That's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching.